Good morning, everyone who's with us. Welcome to Environmental Coffee House on Sunday morning, Pajama Day. These are big floppy pajamas. These, I think, were a gift from Katie, maybe. KS on here. Anyway, a couple of years ago, and it is pajama morning. So, welcome. Let me say hello to everybody that's here. And don't forget to, do the click up. It helps. Alex Hale, Midas Lisa, Devon, Bob Carmody. Hi, Jean, Lightning Rod, and Groot. Oh, it's great to see you here, Groot. Hi, Mark. Oh, there's a good crowd. Okay, so there's a lot of things I could talk about. I want to talk about. Whether or not I get through them all is a different story, but it's great to see you guys. It really is. Hi. Oh my gosh. Per Larson is here. That's wonderful. Wow. Hey, who needs pajamas? Collapse Chronicles. Who needs pajamas? You're down in Florida. Yeah, well, it's cold here. So I'm going to start out by thanking people. I just want to thank, and you know who you are, for Christmas generosity. It's really wonderful that people are so generous and loving and caring, and I really appreciate it. So there you go. I do appreciate that, and I just wanted people to know. And Marcus is with us from Austria. Wow, we're going to have a good crowd today on Pajama Sunday. All right. So there's a lot going on in the news, and it's almost like I can say, all right, my other show, Last Week in Collapse? Well, this is kind of like my own version, only this week, but it's not. It's just a few things I picked to talk about. And I wanted to start out because it seems like every week in the news, in the outrage cycle, okay, is something that relates to what I did for my job, my career in my life, which is not sitting in my pajamas, or it wasn't. It was not sitting in pajamas, drinking coffee from the logo that's way too small to see on a Sunday morning. All right. With coffee tongue. Yeah, it is definitely Sunday. It's only a mini pot. It's not that much, and it's half calf, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm not going to get too crazy, but this is about the H1B visa nonsense that's going on. All of this, it is a non-immigrant visa, right? And it has inflamed the outrage cycle on videos and television, and it starts with Twitter. It's pretty funny, actually. It's really funny. But I thought I would talk just another bit about H1Bs and tell you what I know about them, because I used to bring them over. And at the university level, we would bring over H1B visa people from, I can tell you who I brought. And I used to do the process before we went and got an immigration attorney, which that's what happens when you get bigger and you want somebody to be able to defend the bullshit. All right. Anyway, so we had people from China and Russia and India and Pakistan and Australia, and I had a student from actually from Gaza. Man, I brought a lot of people over, and a lot of them had PhDs because they were working for a project on the campus. So there's a way to do that, and they were non-immigrant visas, and they could come for 3 years and then reapply. The years might have changed from when I was doing it, but they reapply. They don't reapply. It's over in 6 years. Either they have to get another H1B, but they have to go home for a year in between that, unless they have a sponsor. A sponsor is the company like you're talking about. You listen to Elon Musk talking, and it's all these technology companies in the private sector. The technology companies have a cap of 65,000 H1B visas they could bring in the country a year. Educational institutions, I don't believe they have that cap. I do have these pages picked up, but on college campuses, it is a way to, these projects, these are research projects, research grants, diverse people from around the world with experience in all kinds of research come into the United States and work with principal investigators. And a lot of times it might be less expensive to do that for a project. Now, a project is usually sponsored by the government or private. There's private research, there's public research, and it's all factored into the budget of the people that come of the project directors that bring these H1Bs to the campus. And usually, like I said, they're not they're non-immigrant visas, and a lot of people are, of course, making the argument that the non-immigrant visa always turns into a petition for citizenship. Well, for at least to be a working in the country after. Like it's not the H1, it's not the J1. It's another category of visa which I didn't handle. J1s were educational. H1B is what we're talking about here. But then there's also different qualifications for these people. And at our level, we would look for PhDs, but you know what the government says. And the process is you have to search. You have to put out a search in the community like you were looking for a job. You have to try to fill the position with a United States citizen first. And there were times when I knew these projects wanted a specific person from a specific country. They wanted to bring this person over, this skilled PhD for an H1B on a research project, because research was, and I hope it still is, a global enterprise. Okay. And so they wanted them. But I remember one time we did a search and we actually had a qualified American apply for the position. And I know that the principal investigator was really pissed because they really wanted this person from, I don't remember exactly where this person was from. It's a long time ago, but they wanted that person. So they actually just changed the whole grant around and closed the search and did not hire the guy. And later on, playing tiddlywinks, I think the college got him on to their payroll and not ours. I mean, there's always workarounds, right, in everything. So I don't want to bore you forever on the H1B process, but, corporations, it's different. But like I said, with academia, there's not necessarily a cap. So I did pull up a couple of screens because I thought it would be kind of fun. So hang on. I'm going to get this up because I did have fun. And I've been thinking about this, of course, because of this whole thing. Like everything that drives the news cycle, I have some experience in my job that happens. It's just pretty wild. So we're going to do a little laughing first. All right. We got to have a Sunday morning laugh because I've not had a lot of shit, but she's funny. Okay. Well, make sure you can hear this.
3 times in 1 week.
Hang on. I think you can hear it, right? Because on Sunday morning, I don't have, the system audio is working. Okay, here we go.
Laura Loomer and Elon Musk are fighting, and I can't believe it, 3 times in 1 week. Real Villains of DC, Love is Blind, and Psychotic, Messy Republicans edition. These are the days of our lives. My friend Kaylin was sending us these posts in our group all night.
Funny.
And, like, Laura Loomer is fed up, y'all. I don't like Laura Loomer, but I
Who does?
don't like Elon Musk. So I am ready for this takedown. The elephant in the room is that Elon Musk, who is not MAGA and has never been, is a total drag on the Trump transition. She tagged Donald Trump. He's a stage 5 clinger who's overstayed his welcome at Mar-a-Lago in an effort to become Trump's side piece and be the point man for all of his accomplices in the big tech slither into Mar-a-Lago. Slither what? And after Elon was summoned, he's like, don't pay attention to her. She's just trolling. And Laura Loomer wasn't having any of it. She's like, read the room, bro. You bought your way into MAGA like 5 minutes ago. Some of us have been here for a while. And speaking of stage 5 clingers, some of us
all right,
on our
listen,
holiday.
I'm not going on anymore with this.
And it is
hang on. I'm not going on with any more of it, but that is the absurdity, right, of the news cycle. And because of it being the news cycle it was, and that I had experience with H1Bs is why I started to look into it, because typically when all this bullshit happens, all this, manufactured outrage and fighting, I'm not that much into the boat. There's enough for me that I have to look for in life that's much more important than all of this nonsense that's going on. It's humorous, but we know that if this is any indication of what's to come for the next 4 years, it's just going to be like, for those of us that can, a comedy show. But I don't know, I mean, it looks like it right now, but he hasn't taken office yet. But it's just going to be a big drama, and it's just going to be stupid, stressful, shit-ass 4 years. So anyway, I always talk about it. We're going to definitely keep up with what's going on in the world, and not necessarily this, but like I said, because of the H1B process. All right, so I'm going to pull up the H1B stuff and not bore you totally with this. I really don't want to bore you, but it's the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. And when I was bringing people over like this, I would fill out the forms. There's a lot of forms in especially when you work for a university, there's different things than companies have to do, which are private. They probably have specifications similar to what we had to do, but they have to get in there. They have to make sure they get in their petitions for their visas early. They've got to plan for the needs of their company, and they have to do this because there's a cutoff, 65,000 people, and that's it. That's what you're going to bring per year into the country. And the thought behind it is, okay, well, there's 6 years, so they're going back after 6 years. But of course, I think it's been abused much more than academia may have. I think it's been abused in corporations that may circumvent some of this. But so it's working in the United States, and there's all these different visas, but this is the H1B specialty occupations. You do have to have a bachelor's degree for this particular visa to come. And so there's requirements, okay? There's definitely requirements. But in most of the H1B visas we brought in academic settings were PhDs, because they had an expertise that worked with the sponsor program. I mean, I wasn't on a gigantic campus, so I can't tell you that they were what other campuses did. I know we brought the guy from, the hard sciences brought the most diverse. We had Dr. Wan. She was from China, and she was working on chemistry and toxicology of the Great Lakes. And I know when I brought her over, she was a PhD who came off of a tamoxifen project and went on to this project, and she was only making $25,000 a year in the beginning, and that's a long time ago. Sorry, it's now $65,000, I believe it is. Could be more. I didn't look at every single thing when I was looking at this stuff. I do like to sharpen my brain, though, because I have all this stuff in me. I just can't do it for a living anymore. So there's a whole thing on there's a presentation, there's forms, there's all kinds of, and they do discuss all of the violations. If the corporation does not keep up with all these different things, they can have fines. It's a big deal. Now, we don't see that right now in all this. And I don't know what government enforcement is like at this time. Mm-hmm. But I suspect under the incoming Trump administration, I don't want to say his name, the incoming administration, they're going to be much more lax on if they get this through. Trump, anyway, sided with Musk on this against the whole MAGA people. That's the drama. It's not really the drama I want to talk about, but they will loosen the requirements. I don't know what kind of funding the department has to even go after people. I mean, they want to let half of the government go. There are so many branches. Yeah, TR. Wait, where's your let's think of a nickname. Oh my God. Really? I call him the incoming Musk administration. Well, I call him well, other people have said, well, the blob. I say the orange turd. But in this, I guess I was talking more professionally in this because I know, all of this. I know this stuff. I mean, I brought in really interesting people. Students were very interesting too, but anyway, so that's the wage and hour division necessarily. Here's all right, so this is the wage and hour, right? And it is all the regulations are in here, and it applies to employers seeking to hire non-immigrant aliens as workers in specialty occupations or as fashion models of distinguished merit and ability. But that's not an Einstein visa. I'm sorry. All right. So there's just so much to this. Now, I can explain to you why this is where I worked, Research Foundation. So they have an H1B Visa holder employment process and all. And it's pretty much mirrors the government, but they have where you follow. So let's say something happens. If they are not performing the work, a decision by us, different reasons that they have to go home, but you have to guarantee an H1B visa holder return passage. So if they're not going to work for you anymore, and in the private sector, some other company hasn't scooped them up and put a labor condition application in to the government, which they do, and I suppose that during the year, even though they know they have to make their plans for corporate-wide amounts of H-1B visas they want to sponsor, there's probably an aside where they put the visa applications for somebody that they might have to fill the position in the mid-year after the cap. There's always an extension to an exemption, okay? There's always that. But the company has to pay. So, yeah, they always have to have that money. So if you have a budget for a sponsor program, you've always got to have a budget for your personnel budget. In those days, I don't know what they call it now. And it was personnel because that's what people are. They're human being budgets. And you'd have to have that within the spending threshold, always be able to send them back. And they paid their taxes. But when they came from other countries, there are tax treaties for non-immigrant workers. Every country has a different one, and they could be very comprehensive for every kind of visa status. Now, I handled students, and I handled these PhDs. Sometimes mostly academic stuff, right? But mostly every country has some kind of tax treaty with the United States. So a lot of times they did not have to pay tax. They were not They were not, they were exempt from it because of a treaty their country had with the United States. It's a very sophisticated system. This is not just, okay, we're just roping them in and bringing them over. There's a lot involved in this whole thing. So, and we sponsored people, okay? And corporations like Musk is talking about, Vivek are talking about, they sponsor these workers. Now, I think the difference between the workers that we're talking about in particular at in a corporation versus a university, and then I'm going to get off this because I have other stuff I want to move on to, but the difference is that in companies, they're saying, or they, what I have read, okay, is that companies abuse their visa holders. But there's a lot of oversight. At least there was for us. So I'm wondering in corporations if the government plays fast and loose. I have no idea. And I don't know what's going to happen for that. But the topic was really interesting because I think diversity is really important. And but I don't think abuse is right. But there are reporting mechanisms. I had them pulled up for a company or for whatever abuse occurs inside the visa process. So it's not just what you see on Twitter. And a lot of people are so, they're so all-knowing. And, yeah. Okay, wait. Let me read this. Qatar sponsored a bunch of workers to build all the stadiums for the World Cup. Turns out they were basically slaves. Okay. I'd have to look into that one. I would, because I don't know. They sponsored from their country. It's a whole different visa process. Every country, of course, has visa processes, and they have reciprocal. So sometimes if we got a university PhD that was working on their program before they're final defending their PhD, there could be a reciprocal relationship too. And we send one of ours to China or to, at the time I was working, Russia was okay. There were Russian scientists. I mean, there was a lot of good global work together. So I don't know. But anyway, so I thought I'd share with you that whole thing about people. And I'm interested to see what happens because I want to look more into the corporate companies rather than what my experience is and actually see the statistics, the enforcement statistics. So, yeah. Oh, the workers on cruise ships. Yeah, and that's also another thing. If these workers, even if they're in American ports, if they are through another country, I don't think United States employment laws, even if they're using the ports. But then again, I'm not an employment attorney. I'm just going by my experience from the past. But yes, people are abused and people are treated like shit everywhere. I mean, it is just the human condition, and I'm not going to be so negative on it, but that's what you see, right? All right. Here, let's fill her up. Everybody got their coffee? I just think it's pretty funny what's going on politically, with the jokers in between. I mean, it's like everybody's fighting. The progressives are fighting with inside them over Cenk and TYT. And now Maga's fighting in between the tech bros and the Maga faithful, or whatever you call it. I mean, again, where's the popcorn? Unfortunately, it's really going to be seriously messed up when we in the United States, we are the laughingstock already. We are a corporate oligarchy. People know it's just an extreme big joke at in these end times. of the polycrisis we certainly find ourselves in. Yeah, oh, see, oh my God, great minds think alike. Funny, I'm counting the days to the apocalypse. Well, we know it's not going to be some one day of an apocalypse. It's just not going to be like that. We are living through this. Things are changing. So, all right, let's get back to look at my next train of thought since you're all with me for it. All right, my next train of thought. Because I've been sick but I don't have bird flu, obviously. And oh, look at that. I'm looking at my thumbs down. I got that obligatory one thumbs down of somebody that follows me and has to do it every show. One thumbs down. Okay. I probably should give that one thumbs down. I'm going to do the early flush. Yeah, I'm going to do the early flush. Okay, hang on. We'll do the early flush. One thumbs down. Bye. Okay. All right. So I want to move on to this bird flu thing because this story. Oh, I was going to talk about that. Okay, we've got Louisiana in the house. I'm okay. No real tornadoes here, just flash flooding and hi, everyone. Hey, Looney. Yeah, I wrote him yesterday because I was tracking what was going on. And, I follow a couple of storm trackers, but yesterday was not a great day. But anyway, so this story got my eye, and I want to fix the screen because last week I noticed I don't think you could see the whole article. Bird flu has killed 20 big cats, including cougars, at a U.S. wildlife sanctuary. And it's just completely horribly sad, right? Okay, Lisa, I got weather. All right, hang on. This is Sunday. I don't have to be perfect. Sandy, you got icky weather coming from my parts. Yeah, I know. I'm ready. I'm ready. I mean, how much more ready can I be? I think I'm ready. An animal sanctuary in Shelton, Washington is under quarantine after a bird flu outbreak killing 20 big cats at the facility. This is messed up. And they're under quarantine. So this bird flu is starting to spread, and we know that in California it was a state of emergency. And so I do see I look, I don't know personally about the transmission from humans, from animals to humans, but we've seen this shit happen in nature. We have antibiotic resistant strains of every kind of virus because we just have these things. So, and I think about this bird flu because across the street is a farm, and it is my Fred's farm. And oh, good, he's tweeting about it. Wait a minute. Bob Carmody, I want to put up your Bob. Yes. He's tweeting about it, and he's a truly good man. Well, yeah, he's a public servant. He went into public health. So I think he's a good virologist, immunologist. I think he's a virologist. I follow all kinds of different people, but I'm looking at this because of my neighbor, and I know that she's not going to get the information by her for herself, probably at least right now. So I'm tracking it because across the street from me is a farm with cows and chickens and turkeys and goats. They've got a farm. It's a farm. And so I want to make sure that she's got the most up-to-date information on this. And it's already, I gotta tell you, I freaking can't stand X, like the bullshit on X. You go there, there's some good information you can get, but I don't want to rely on X to get news, right? Yeah, goats. I don't want to rely on X to get news. And I go there on Saturdays for the Climate Crisis Club. And yesterday I was on all day listening. It's the only Twitter Spaces I think I've ever done, ever. And I listened pretty much all day. Because yesterday I felt like way worse shit than I do today. That's a whole other story. But anyway, so when you live in a farming community, you've really got to pay attention. And I know New York right now, but it's all over. So I want to look at what's happening in dairy cattle, wild birds, poultry flocks, mammals, person to person spread, and current public health risk. And listen to this. So I'm watching a virology live show, one of these virology. It was 20 minutes. And the doctor, they were reading in messages from people. Evidently, this guy wrote a message, and he worked in a landfill in California. And he was talking about how the poultry have been disposed of that got contaminated, that got sick. I mean, we're talking millions of birds. Animal agriculture is horrible. It's all these things are going to fly through the animal agriculture because of their antibiotic resistance and because we overbreed. It's really disgusting. And so this guy writes in, he says, Doc, I mean, they read his email. He works there. They grind them up. They somehow grind them up, and it's sort of a powdery kind of substance after they grind them up. And these guys are dumping them in the landfills with a contagious disease. And he wanted to know, should we be wearing N95s? And I'm like, oh, yes, you should be wearing N95s. And how is this? I don't know. I just thought it was really wild. This is the kind of shit that's happening. They said that hopefully by the process of smushing them up, turning them into I don't even think there's a dehydration process. I have no idea, but if they're dumping, it's like, I don't know. It's gross. So these are just examples of things that happen. Then I had seen another picture of a lot of dead cows laying there. And, this really breaks my heart because I live in a farming community. So you see this shit, then it's going to happen because we have too many people. We are in overshoot, friends. All right, so it's not, well, the CDC is being the CDC, so I don't know. Oh, wait. All right, that's it. I'm done with the bird flu, but we all have to just take precautions because do I know if it's jumping over to humans? I don't know. TR said it might be. I don't know. Let's see what the CDC says. They said they're using their flu surveillance, which is like wastewater, so they never know what's going on in rural areas because we have septic systems. Where is the specific information you're asking me? I don't think so, but maybe somebody else knows. I know these are the probable cases with commercial poultry exposure. Human, 3. Okay, so there's been 3. All right, Jean, do you see it? 3. Yeah, maybe. I'd have to look it up, and of course I didn't have time. It was something I was listening to, and I thought it was very interesting that they were reading the guy's email who works in a landfill who was describing a process and saying, should I be wearing a mask? And I'm thinking, yeah, I would be wearing a mask and not breathe in all that bullshit. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Wait, I see 3, Devon. You said 65? It's 63 human cases down here. Human cases up here. National flu surveillance. All right. Targeted H5, 63, right here. Okay, so it's actually so far on the CDC website, it is 3, but that's since February 25th. So this is 63. So it is spilling over. I just have not really done all the research. I'm just thinking about Lori across the way. And they're doing what? Genetic sequences of highly pathogenic avian flu. So they're studying all this crap and looking at this. And the patient was in Louisiana. Holy crap. Normally I'm not going to sit here and read all about the bird flu, but I live in a farming area because I've been sick for a month, getting better, and it was not COVID. And I probably just kicked a flu, some kind of flu that's been back and forth with me, basically because of my immune system. But I'm on the mend. So anyway, here we are, 11:38. What did you say? Wait. I think we need to mask up chickens before they sneeze on us. Yeah, right? Nah, they're not going to they're not going to sneeze on us, Sammy, and you know it. Um we're going to move on cuz I posted this. It's just how I feel when I look at the science, the hard science. Not to depress everybody, but this is Sam Carana. We have left the Anthropocene. We are now functionally extinct. And we look to set to drag most, if not all, life on Earth into extinction with us as we keep appointing omnicidal maniacs who act in conflict with the best available scientific analysis. We are now in the Suicine. Yep, that is what we're in the Suicine. Thank you, Sam Carana, in March 2023. Yep. All right. And, oh, here we go. I could quickly mention what's going to happen for Fridays, which so far I am managing to keep my crap together for Fridays. Lyle Lewis posted on Blue Sky. He's coming on January 3rd, the author of Raising to Extinction. He wants to discuss why drying and more catastrophic flooding are happening in spite of climate change, not because of it. So we're going to talk about wildland hydrology, flooding, and beavers. And I can't wait, actually. He's going to come on and talk all about this. And that's going to be cool. So I might as well go through the whole thing. Lyle Lewis is coming on Friday night, January 3rd. Carolyn Baker's coming on Friday night, January 10th. And Carolyn, PhD, Carolyn, the diva of doom, really, who is a psychologist, is going to come on and just do her supportive stuff. It's going to be interactive again with the chat. And we are going to be able to talk to her about our upcoming feelings with the election, with anxiety, with collapse, all of those things. Supportive. We need supportive people also. And then on January 17th, I've got Jim Massa and Elliot Jacobson together. The Ocean in the Sky. And I think this is going to be a really good show. I mean, the two of them, they're working through me, but I think the conversation is going to be really good. So you don't want to miss Jim and Elliot, two of our favorites. And then on January 24th, a gentleman named David Mitchell, and he represents CROPS. CROPS. It's a carbon sequestration. And it's not a tech bro crap. It's like, a good process that I want to learn about and think that he should get out his ideas. I like to bring those people with ideas onto this channel, regardless of being in the Suicine. This makes us not feel like so much we're in the Suicine because these people are really trying to come up with ideas, and they're inventors and they're scientists and they're interesting, and I'm bringing them to you. So that is him. And then now there's, for the last night of the last Friday, it's either going to be Mila Resson, who is an activist from California, many, many years. She's going to talk about the Palos Verde nuclear plant. She is a big, not fond of nuclear energy person. Or it's going to be Dr. Jason Moore. I've been promising you Dr. Moore. So talking about his viewpoint from the view of, I'd say, I guess, the Marxism and what he teaches, but of our environmental predicament. So it's going to be a good month. I just need to keep my shit together and not get sick again. I mean, I've been completely sick. So this is what I wanted to go through with you guys. Also, before we go, it's not going to be really, really long. Oh, wait, really quickly, let me show you David's project. CROPS, carbon removal and sequestration. But it's completely not. Remember when I brought Drew on to talk about algae? There's so many people with so many wonderful ideas. This is a way to capture carbon from the air and safely store it for 1,000 years, he says, But what I want to really look at was this. All right. It's crops. Recycling fossil fuel carbon back to deep ocean sediments. This should be an interesting show to show what's going on here. And Jim will probably be interested in watching this. They propose a sequestering of crop residues to capture a significant fraction of the present global carbon emission through sequestration in the deep ocean below the thermocline. Now, we definitely would have to talk to Jim about this after this and see what, as an oceanographer, what he thinks about this crop system. And if I'm going to buy into anything, it also cannot come with business as usual. We cannot then say, okay, we're doing this, so we're just going to continue to keep burning fossil fuels. So if we actually, as a collective, which is it hopium? I'm not going to comment on it, but as a collective, society decides it's really going to fight this. And are these kinds of things going to be implemented? And not bricks, not these big, stupid carbon capture bullshit machines. This is not that, in my most professional language. These are not carbon capture bullshit machines. There you go. They're not. They're not, what's his name? Bill Gates. So that's that. And then the last thing I wanted to do was just bring your mind to Carbon Brief. And they have mapped how climate change affects extreme weather around the world. And this was done on the 18th of November in 24. And it's pretty interesting. I don't think I'm going to go through the whole thing, but a trio of researchers published a study, and let's see what here it is, in Nature. Human contribution to the heat wave of 2003. So there's the study. Let's go back to Carbon Brief. It accomplished something never seen before. They calculated the specific contribution that human-caused climate change made to an individual extreme weather event. Now, see, that's attribution science, right? Attributing something to something. And we have to make sure if we collectively implement carbon sequestration, even if it looks, it's natural, it's bringing it to the ocean and all, that we don't look at it as a green light to frack and continue to burn. If we're going to make the change, then we have to make the commitment to say, okay, whether or not the big picture is we are in the Suicine or the Anthropocene or whatever, we're going to make this change. We're going to do it right. But I'm afraid that it's not going to be done right. And you do get afraid that it's not going to be done right. And it's going to just be keep on burning and keep on going, and that's that. That's why Sam Carana made that made this. Yep. And Sam has a lot of information. And Sam is not really Sam. We don't know who Sam Carana is. A group, a female, I don't know. People have all kinds of, Sam is a mystery. But Sam's got good data. And pretty much when people used to say, well, Sam is too, maybe alarmist or sensationalist, or the data may have not been conventionally presented, although it's good data from the right sources. But the things that have been predicted or talked about or discussed or whatever are happening. They are happening. So Carbon Brief mapped every published study on how climate change has influenced extreme weather. The latest iteration of the interactive map includes more than 600 studies covering almost 700 extreme weather events and trends. Across all the cases, 74% percent were more likely or severe because of climate change. But yet, Lyle is coming on. He's coming on to talk about why drying and more catastrophic flooding are happening in spite of climate change, not because of it. So that's going to be interesting. I definitely think so. I mean, if that's not minimizing and saying, oh, climate change is not happening. This is just looking at these mechanisms. In a polycrisis, there are so many different mechanisms of collectively screwing the planet. Seriously. All right, so let's see here. This was the interesting one. Studies of almost 750 events and trends reveal the impact of climate change on extreme weather. So you look at the event type, and red, more severe or likely, had no influence is yellow, blue is less severe or likely, and gray is inconclusive. All right, let me see. And then they have the event type. So these are this is the key to the graphic. So it was more severe or likely in a lot of places. And it does look ominous. Let's see the United States. So in the United States, in North America, the map includes 137 extreme events and trends in North America. And there are a lot of rain and flooding events, which we are seeing, actually. And now we're seeing all those tornadoes in the southern United States, Louisiana, Mississippi, eastern Texas. Drought. We had a lot of, so we've had rain, and we're a big country. The United States is a gigantic country. So one coast could be full of rain and flooding, and then the middle can be in a drought, or the other coast could be in a drought. I mean, it's just a gigantic country. Storms, wildfires, heat, and then cold snow and ice. Well, isn't that something? Cold snow and ice are less severe or less likely. So even in look at that, less likely. So we're just going to be hot, and I'm just waiting for the clueless moron that says to me, when we get the next big lake effect storm up, I'm below the snow bands, but somebody will say, how can global warming be happening because we have 4 feet of snow? And I'm going to say, well, the lake has not frozen because we've had weather whiplash. It's like, I don't know, here yesterday it was 50. Now it's 51. It's 51. This is the end of December in the southern tier of Western New York. It is 51 degrees. Last week, it was 4 degrees. And I had ice dams form in my gutters, which were falling down and making loud noises. And it was pretty obnoxious. Because even the structures you live in don't know, they don't, you have to build better now. You really do. Except in a tornado. What can you do for a tornado? It's going to come, it's going to blow your house. Hurricane proof, fine. Tornadoes are, man, they're just beasts. So choose a country. So we saw that. Let's look at Europe. Wow. Europe has heat. And we've gone over all these stories. We've seen these stories throughout the year. Rain and flooding, cold and snow. Now they're having some, events, but it's less severe or less likely in Europe. But they are having those events. I have people write to me from Ireland and different places to tell me how cold it is. My gosh, if the AMOC stops, they'll be a lot colder. They will. So I thought this was really interesting, and I will put the link into the show notes. All right, because I'm trying to keep it not super long today, but I want to talk to you guys too. So let me shut this down and come back to you. Okay, I'm coming back to you. So let's see what you guys are talking about. And let me think, Nadia. Oh, she has four of them. Oh, wow. Let's start. Whoops. Let's start. Wait, I have to fix that. Okay. Let's start from the beginning here. I shouldn't talk out loud when I'm thinking about the software. Chambers. Jeff Sachs says serious fall means Iran's next now. Ooh. Well, for the women of Iran, I would love to see the women in Iran take over the country. Wouldn't that be something that might never happen? I say soon to be inaugurated senile puppet. Thank you. All right. I like that one. Yep. That actually could be a second flush. Let's preemptively flush the second puppet again. All right. We're also flushing. Yeah, we're flushing these. All right. Okay. And the Christo-fascist weekend at Bernie's corpse. I have to look and see what I could do with that one. Christo-fascist weekend at Bernie's corpse. Oh my God. Thank you. Mercer ruined my life, by the way. 712 and all's resistant now. I'm sorry. MRSA. Well, there's a lot of sicknesses. I mean, I'm not going to say I haven't been concerned about myself. It's been a shitty month. Never have I been to where, well, pretty much I felt like I thought I was going to die a couple times. It started on November 25th and it's been a whole month and it's not COVID. And I am on the mend and then I'm not on the mend. I don't know. Yesterday I was hacking up a lung like it was the most disgusting thing. And Susan thought it, my RN friend Susan that comes into our chat, thought it was maybe a sinus infection, but then there's no sign of that today. So it keeps changing with me. But as long as I do my suppies, my supplements. So I'm going to share with you before we go, because it looks like you're having fun in there, and I don't know what I am. A few of these I like. Okay, so I like this one. This is a nice one. Progress after 1 year converting a water-dependent lawn to 70 species of mostly native plants. And this is in Ontario. So look at that bummy corner, right? Anywhere you see it. And look at that. Look at that beautiful corner. No, I don't have bird flu symptoms, Jean. No, this is other bullshit. Nope. I wouldn't have bird flu. I don't get that close over there. I only talk to her horses. I love her horses. They come up to me. They're great. And just go outside, talk to Lori's horses. Okay, so that's not. All right, and here we go. This refers to kind of what we're talking about now. And I want to talk about this one. So listen, our fight is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. As long as we keep fighting each other, they are winning. So somebody asked me who they are, and I said that, okay, they are the tech bros. They are, the Vivek Ramaswamy, who is so friggin' wealthy. All these wealthy oligarchs in tech, okay? And it's the top versus the bottom, and they are the wealthy ones. So somebody then said, oh, it's both. It's a like a false meme, whatever. And so I said, well, dude, it says left versus right, not left versus Maga. That's a difference. There are a lot of people on the right that can understand that are where we are right now, that aren't MAGA. Okay, I'm not going there with this one, and so it's the income inequality. It's everything that gets talked about all the time on progressive channels that talk about changing the systems. And that's why I like Wednesday night, because we do talk about those things regardless of being in the Suicine. And that leads me to this one. The working class needs a workers' party. Yes, the working class needs a workers' party. Will it ever happen in the United States? Will we be the laughing stock and continue being a corporate, oligarchic, politically bought country? I mean, I hate, do I have hopium that we can change? Well, yeah, that's right. Letterhack is going to save the world. Well, he's got a good attitude. That's for goddamn sure. And I have others that I follow. I have others that are people. Uh, others that are people. Other people that are interested in all of these things, these local things, these political things you can do, unionization, all the things to make life better. And I like to look at the things that make life better for wildlife. And obviously, the bird flu is not making life better for captured animals that were in Washington, the big cats, or even there's animals are getting it. The cats are getting it, wild cats, and there's lots of them here. But I don't let my cats go out. Mm-mm. Hey Scott, where are you? I didn't send you a notice. YouTube, I see. I have to put you on the mailing list. I have a mailing list to buy me a coffee, and I send everybody that. It's like a routine. If you're in Buy Me a Coffee, you don't even have to spend any money. Just be a supporter, and then you're on the mailing list if you want to get another piece of mail. Just don't consider me junk mail. I do that all the time. So yes. All right. Do I have any more pictures? Oh, yes. All right. So I sound like an old movie. Yes. Which actually, I have been watching a spate of old movies, like all kinds of old movies, because I really don't want to watch political shows. I'm trying to heal myself spiritually. We have a lot coming up after January 20th. And because I've been sick and with all this stuff, I have to heal myself. So I can't watch too much of the outrage. This show was easy because it spurred me on to the H1B visa process, thinking about all the things I did in my career that goes with the outrage of the day, but from a different perspective, from the practitioner's perspective, at least, bringing these people on into the country. The academics didn't always stay. They went back to their countries, but, I don't know how the corporations were doing it. So, yeah. All righty. I have one more. I like this one, too. They all make you think. So, what a bunch of morons we look like. Denmark offers to buy U.S. After Donald J. Turd Face blip on the radar, we hope, proposal to purchase Greenland, the government of Denmark put forth a counterproposal of buying the United States. Their spokesperson stated that Denmark would be interested in purchasing the United States in its entirety, with the exception of its government. If this is carried out, Denmark plans to bring reform to the U.S. educational system and national health care. That's a good one, right? Everything but the government. Yeah, I thought that was a good one. That was definitely good. I hope you like that. All right, and the last one I have to share for the day. Yeah, Kristen, where are you? Yes. Can I put my property under the flag of Denmark, please? Yeah, right? Definitely. Although they make all their money on fossil fuels. They actually run around in electric cars and all that crap, but they make their money on fossil fuels, and they drill the ocean floor. Mm-hmm. Nobody's perfect. Yes. Yes, I bet them. Yeah. Well, the United States has family leave. We have FMLA, the Family and Medical Leave Act, and it gives you, as an employee with 50 or more employees, and the employer has to give you 12 weeks, but it could be paid or unpaid. And usually it's unpaid unless you work at a company where you can save your sick time and use it concurrently. And that's all contingent upon what company you work for. But the law sets out that you can do 12 weeks and I think now maybe it changed to where the both parents can take 12 weeks when they at least have a kid. But it's for the take care of you or your spouse, your family, close family member, not grandparents. Everybody used to ask me, "Can I take family medical leave for the grandparents?" And I'm like, "No." And the law doesn't cover grandparents. And very often, grandparents are the ones that need the help. So it was just like very close family members. But hi, Ernie's Cabin. I watched your yesterday's video. Denmark is the 12th largest country on the planet because it includes Greenland. Yeah. And this whole thing that you see, it's just so absurd. I mean, I use the word absurd because right now I feel like we are living through the age of absurdity. I mean, seriously, big time. Absurd, strange, weird. Like they used in the election. Weird times ahead. And I think nothing good will get done. I mean, nothing good will get done. They'll be fighting in our government a lot. But let's hope that can they possibly be so incompetent that nothing bad happens? We can't think it's going to be the first term. Damn, coffee got cold. Anyway, you too can have a mug. I'm such an advertiser. And one of these days I'll get the logo fixed. Okay. You guys talking about. I'm going to turn on some very low music for us to talk because I'm going to end the show and not go super long. Greenland has the highest suicide rate of any country. It does. Another statistic. I had no idea. No idea. Deep breathing helps reduce the effects of stress on our of stress and cortisol on our bodies. Yes. I've had a dry cough for a month. It turned into a yicky productive cough for one day and then went back to a dry cough. 2 humidifiers, 2 air purifiers, and I'm still trying. Okay, Nina. My dad pointed out that Canada as a state would be giant compared to Texas. That's all of this. Panama Canal. It's all the manufactured outrage, or the orange turd looking for opportunities to line his own pockets and the pockets of his family. That's how I feel. But this is all just manufactured outrage. It's insane. And this is what they do. They're performative. And we will have 4 years of, again, live TV. What is it? A reality TV show? I mean, it's constantly like that anyway. Yeah. Don't eat cephalopods. Okay, we won't eat cephalopods. Does anybody have anything to ask? And I want to thank you, Nadia. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he sure was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, there's going to be fights for everything. And while this is happening, all the propaganda on how the CO2, I've read this study, of course, it was on What's Up With That, which is Tony Watts, or whatever his name is, big denier, and propaganda peddler, that CO2, that being as high as we are in the CO2, in their way is saying, of course, it's going to turn to greening of the planet, which is good. They don't talk about anything, weather-wise. And all of the whole rest of the thread on Twitter was so stupid. Just absolutely mind-numbing. Mind-numbingly not science. Mind-numbing. And that's why I don't go on Twitter X that much. Because it's mind-numbing, the level of stupidity. And propaganda. And that's really sad because Anthony Watts, What's Up With That is terrible right-wing propaganda. And they are paid from the fossil fuel industry. Yep. So anyway. Yeah, it's an old argument, but they're repackaging it. They're repackaging it with some a new study that was done. I mean, if I wanted to, I could pull it up for you. It's not worth it. They're just repackaging the same old shit for the same old clueless morons, and that's what they're doing. What are your top 5 climate predictions for 2025 akin to those Elliot put up on Blue Sky recently? Mine? Well, you know what, if you want me to answer that, I can't do it right now, like off the top of my head. I mean, I think sea surface temperature issues and the oceans are a big consideration, of course. AMOC, not as much, but they're changing. CO2. I mean, though I have the same pretty much big 5, but I really need to think about that. Okay. Maybe I could do that next Sunday. I'll come back with an answer and we can discuss. How about this, everybody? Where's that comment? Let me find that comment. It was a good comment, and we could do this next week. Everybody, bring your top 5 climate predictions for 2025, akin to those Elliot put up on Blue Sky. So that's your homework. All right. For next Sunday, what are your top 5 climate predictions? And if they are good predictions, give us the good. With the bad, we want to hear it all. All right. I mean, we've already got, all right, do this for next Sunday. I'm serious. Don't forget. Bring that. And there we go. I have an idea for the show, and we'll go through climate predictions. And while we're doing it interactively, then I could probably look up some of the stuff to justify what we are saying in our predictions. So that's good. Yeah, I'm having fun. This is fun. Even though I feel like shit. I'm telling you guys, I keep getting sick and not sick. That's why I'm not doing Tuesdays right now. I couldn't do Friday. I'm not dying. Like I said, it's just an annoying thing I have to get over. This flu bullshit. Yep. All right, guys. I'm not whining about my health because then I'll go on a whole other tangent. I'm 5 miles inland of north of Tampa. I can't wait. Oh, Florida. A Florida person. EPA just banned TCE but granted an exception for the Pentagon. Of course. See, there's so much going on out there. We can just keep... The dog ate your homework. I'm not dying. Famous last line. I know I shouldn't say it. Right? And even if I am, I found that I really could end with this wonderful video, but I put a link. I put it up on my Blue Sky. It popped into my feed. It's a 100-year-old woman talking about life and that she's going to end, her life is going to be ended soon by something. And it was kind of amazing what she said. If you follow me on Blue Sky, it's posted under Environmental Coffeehouse. And it was good. I'm not going to play it now. But yeah, famous last words. Well, look, if something happens to me, I'm not finished cleaning the house up so my daughter doesn't have a mess to clean up. So I can't. And I have these 8 cats. I got to outlive at least 7 of them. And there's no, we have to talk about it because we all die, right? Illness is illness. I don't think I'm that ill. I think there was reasons for why I kept getting sick, but it will stop. This too will pass. Yep. Only Louisiana could make me feel better about my plight. You're a comedian. You're a real regular comedian, huh? Are you all in your pajamas, by the way? You're supposed to. Yes, thank you, sweetheart. I need them. I really do, because I'm kind of sick of this shit. I actually had a song I was going to sing to you guys. Oh my God. I always say I'm going to say goodbye and then I keep going. The song, I don't know. It's one step over the line, sweet darling, one step over the line. And I was going to say, I went one cat over the line, sweet darling, one cat over the line. And I sound like shit. One cat over the line. I definitely think that could be part of my problem with coffee tongue. Cheers. One of these days it'll get bigger. And you two can have your very own environmental coffeehouse coffee mug. Yeah, baby. Over the line. One toke over the line. Okay. And I got one cat over the line. One toke over the line. Well, that's been any of us potheads. Although I don't smoke. I don't smoke. I don't smoke anything anymore. Nothing in my lungs. You can thank Jeffrey Landry for that shit. He's a MAGA idiot. Who? For oh, okay. Politics. Politics. Oh, Nadia, you're in your pajamas? Oh. I did not leave pajamas there. Although I would love to visit you there. It would probably be nice. Nadia was in her pajamas. Who else is in her pajamas? Okay. Max has another one. They're gonna raise the sales tax to lower income tax. Okay. So they figured that people from out of state that come to Louisiana for all that tourism and oh my God. Down there in Louisiana, they'll pay. Yeah. You were in the pajamas you were born in? Yeah, I'm 6 cats over the line. Other people say I'm 8 cats over the line. All of them. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys are, yes, I know, honey. Regressiveness is the point. Oh, yeah. Hi, Susan. I talked about you earlier, thinking I have a sinus infection. Yes, I'm in my jammies, and I hope that buried treasure arrives soon and helps your immune system. Yay! Susan's so nice. She's sending me a supplement, but you don't want this to end because then you have to get out of bed and work. I know, right? After I do this every day, I'm working this house. Hey, if I didn't have this place to work in these animals, I would be in worse shape than I already am. I think that they help. They definitely help. I think I had one more. Yeah, there's one. Definitely. She's picking up all the dirt where the firewood goes. Yep. And I just fixed that stool. Hex bolts or something, the kind of bolt I needed, or Allen bolt. I have to fix the top and get new bolts for the top, but it was all loose. Cats have scratched that, ruined that over the years, so nothing I have is nice. Hey, Linda Rose. Everyone says they should declutter so that if they die, their kid doesn't have to. Well, I think differently. Just leave them something to do. Oh, yeah, when you think about it, that means that they would be thinking about you, going through your shit. That's true. Okay. All right. You don't want to wear pajamas? No. I like these messy cats. Yeah, well, they're all messy cats. Mine are cats. One's got hair falling out. Oh, they're awful. All right, I'm saying goodbye, guys. Come on. I'm going to make the music louder, and I am going to go for my day. Brush my tongue of coffee tongue. That's a whole pot of coffee. Yeah. Don't forget, we're in the Suicine. I'll leave on a bad note. No. Yep. You too, guys. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Definite fun. Not much planning. Yeah. All right, we're out of here. We're out of here.